Okay, everyone, thanks for joining me for these live internet studies week after week. My name is Arabin Lyman Hanavi, and the hour and a half long study is broken into two segments. First segment is an hour long, is given over to an end time study called Eschatology, a biblical study of end time events. It is basically a study on the book of Revelation that we're working our way towards. If you look at my screen, you can see the topic number 15 really said, 15 and 16 say book of Revelation. But we're working our way towards that using subjects that are building the momentum towards better, properly understanding the book of Revelation. So we went all the way back into the Old Testament. We pulled in some key significant passages. We looked at the book of Daniel. Then we're now in this excursus kind of little side topic related to the main topic about Antichrist. We looked at the kind of European version of Antichrist through the lens of Robert Van Kampen, the non-Islamic version. Most of you listening to my study, either by video format or audio format, are probably Christian of the persuasion that the Antichrist is going to come out of some form of European Union or revived Roman Empire, so he probably won't have any ties to Islam or won't be a Muslim cleric or anything like that. But there is another position that I'm trying to make you aware of that we need to consider, and this is the position by Joel Richardson, who's done his homework. He's no lightweight, so you got to give him credit where credit's due. And the position is very tenable, in my understanding. It's very plausible. So we need to be prepared either way. Obviously, the true preparation is going to come from the Holy Spirit inside of us and our trust in God and in His Messiah, Yeshua. There's no amount of intellectual preparation that is going to ultimately shield us from the wicked actions that the Antichrist is going to pour out when the day comes. Whether he be from European stock or from Arabic Muslim stock or whatever, it doesn't matter. Whether he's a Muslim or not is the point I'm trying to make. The actions that he's going to take against Jews and against Christians, it's going to be horrific either way. So we need to be prepared, and the preparation truly comes from trusting in God, reading His Word, staying prayed up is the term we use, right, in Christian circles, staying prayed up, having your heart in the right place, having your mind set on God's things and things of God, rather than distracted by all of the offers, all the shiny things that the world has to offer. So make sure your heart is in the right place. Make sure you know who your Messiah truly is. Like I keep urging everyone at the end of my videos, you've got to know Jesus. You've got to know Yeshua in these end days. If you don't know Him, then it doesn't matter what your position on Antichrist is. It doesn't matter who you think the Antichrist will be. You're not going to make it, right? So we're in topic 7, Excursus, the Islamic Antichrist per Joel Richardson. So let's jump over there. Will Islam be our future? A study of biblical and Islamic eschatology. And let's jump down to chapter 5. This is where we are in, comparing the biblical Antichrist and the Mahdi. Okay, so looking at Joel Richardson's book, which is available on Amazon.com, at Amazon.com, as well as his own website, Joel's Trumpet, I believe, joelstrumpet.org or joelstrumpet.com. And it's also available at answeringislam.org, which is the version I'm using right now in front of that you can see on your screen. Look at the video links in the description below the videos, and I've made links to many of those, at least 2 or 3 resources where you can find Mr. Richardson's book. So if you'd like to support his ministry, Amazon.com is probably the easiest way. Well, looking at his book, last week we introduced this idea that in the Bible, the Antichrist is known to initiate or confirm this covenant with prominent leaders in Israel, i.e. either priests or the prime minister of Israel or Israel's political or consultants or military consultants, whomever. He's known to initiate or even confirm a covenant that's already in existence, one of the two. The Hebrew goes either way. This 7-year treaty. And so from that perspective, we're looking at the parallel in Islamic prophecy where the Mahdi, right? Remember, the Mahdi is the Muslim version of, in their view, since the Mahdi's a good guy, it's their view of ultimately the messianic figure, the religious ruler who will come and restore the Islamic Caliphate and restore worldwide Muslim rule, etc., Islamic rule, etc., etc. He'd be the 12th Imam. So he is a political figure, but he's mainly a religious figure, if I understand his references correctly. His name, or his title, Mahdi. That's not his name, but it's one of his titles. And he will usher in worldwide peace via Islam, according to their perspective. In the parallel, he is actually the Antichrist. He's not Jesus or any other figure. He's actually the Antichrist in the parallel accounts of the Bible. And as we know from reading our own Bible, the Antichrist is not someone that we should welcome with open arms. On the contrary, he's the consummate wicked ruler who will seize control of Jerusalem one day and seek to annihilate anyone who opposes him, focusing most of his intense hatred right there in the Middle East against Jewish people, and then also against Christians, obviously. So what's interesting by way of parallel that we're learning is that he also, in Islamic circles, makes a 7-year treaty. Like you can see on my screen right now, the title, the Mahdi's 7-year treaty. And this is, again, quite fascinating given the fact that Christians are already aware of the 7-year peace treaty that Antichrist is going to somehow be involved in. So we scroll past that down a bit into Mr. Richardson's notes, and we find another parallel that the Mahdi is going to, or that the Antichrist is going to change the laws and the times, and then the Antichrist, the Mahdi is also said to do the same thing. But let's just move on. Let's begin to entertain a discussion about the rider on a white horse. Now, again, what we're doing is we're just holding the Bible in one of our hands, and we're looking at the parallels between what the Bible teaches about this Antichrist figure, and we're holding loosely in one of our other hands. In one of our other hands? There's only one other hand, right? We're holding loosely in the other hand Islamic writings. This could be the Quran, this could be the Hadith, this could be any modern day Islamic teachers, professors, etc., etc. So we're holding that in the other hand, and we're noticing the parallels between these two religions and these two eschatological perspectives of the end times. So now let's start with the Bible, the rider on a white horse. So let's pick up our reading right here. This is Joel Richardson speaking about this Antichrist figure. The final similarity, and we're almost done with this section on Joel Richardson, then we can turn into the Olivet Discourse of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. The final similarity between the Antichrist and the Mahdi that we will discuss in this chapter, which is chapter 5 of his book, is the fact that both the Antichrist and the Mahdi are identified with a biblical passage that describes a rider on a white horse. Right? Remember from the book of Revelation, we'll probably have a quote here in a moment. Joel says, while this could be literal, it is most probably a symbolic picture of the two men. The amazing thing, he says, is that the origin of the biblical tradition of the Antichrist on a white horse and the origin of the Islamic tradition of the Mahdi on a white horse are both attributed to the same passage in the Bible. And I mentioned this earlier, but Joel is going to flesh this out as well. So let's hear what he has to say, and then if he doesn't express the thoughts that I wanted to also convey, then I'll add to that. Joel says, the basis for the symbolic picture of both the Antichrist and the Mahdi on a white horse is the 6th chapter of the book of Revelation, which is what I was going to mention. And what we notice, Joel says, is that here the Apostle John is describing his vision of the release of the events that mark the beginning of the end times. Continuing, the picture is of Jesus holding a scroll. On the outside of the scroll, right? You have to picture this in your mind. If I can find a photo in post-production, I'll go ahead and flash it on the screen. But the picture is of Jesus holding a scroll. On the outside of the scroll are 7 wax seals. As each seal is broken, a specific and distinct end-time event is released.